Crossroads channel of light fluid. Yes, we're back in the Minotaur Hotel, and before we get started, I'll just mention that we are in peak allergy season here right now, so if I sound a bit off, that's it. It's in the mid-20s Celsius outside. It's been 29 yesterday, so everything is pretty nasty pollen-wise, but I'll do what I can. If you remember, in the last episode, we were down in the underground, and Asterion was about to tell the Leo something, under one condition. I, Asterion, do solemnly swear to tell Master Leo the full truth of this matter, under one condition. What is it? The doors are open again. Oh, catch me. He bolts. The last thing you see of him is his tail whipping about. Get your bearings and give chase, good master. You look down the hallway and see Asterion slowing down to make a sharp turn to the left. When he catches you with a sideways glance, he picks up the pace and disappears. When you turn the corner yourself, he's nowhere to be seen. There's only one path forward. You don't need a string to track him. The echoing clop of his hooves is enough. Despite his weight, they sound almost delicate next to your stomping after him. You may get a little lost. These old pastures of his are growing familiar, and at times Asterion seems to slow to an echoing trot. You follow his song-like steps. The thrill of the hunt, heart pounding in your chest as legs and arms work and pump, pushing you closer and closer to grasping him. After half a dozen turns and twists, you return to the starting point, and you notice Asterion's repeating the same track. Your next turns are faster, fast enough that you catch up to Asterion midway through the next circuit. He hears your footsteps, looks behind. Your eyes lock, glances stolen, and his trot becomes a leisurely gallop. He goads you, good master. Show now your power and might, and may your winged feet carry you to conquest. The Minotaur is only a dozen steps ahead. You reach out with your hands, anticipating his thinly furred and firmly muscled sides. Brief speeds up again. Faster you go, then he returns to a trot after a sharp turn. Now he's only 10 steps ahead. Your hands take on a life of their own, and so does the back of the Minotaur's neck. Its fur stands on end. Its whole back heats up with anticipation of your touch. The warmth of your hands on his spine, sides, face, back of his head, cupping his ears, going down his neck, grasping his shoulders to press his chest against yours. A gentle touch, warm digits brushing through his fur, eyes closing in sync, skin against skin radiating the satisfaction that takes root in one's bones. All these ghostly sensations and more rack his body. But as for words, his mind is poorer. He thinks only that he has to gallop, must win, should loudly trot, might look behind, should slow down, must come together with you, has to... What was the goal of this exercise all along? Asterion becomes aware of his own absent-mindedness and laughs along with you. Words return to him in a flash. He's proud of himself of being worthy of such a pursuit, of being esteemed, wanted, desired. You settle into your rhythm. The gap is closing now, just 6 steps behind him. You reach out, his trotting winds down, your steps match. You graze his right hand on the downswing. He gives you a sideways glance. On the next swing of his arm it reaches further back towards you. You grab it, that coarse palm so strong and soft and clumsy and lovely. You lean back, letting your weight slow while he transitions his trot into a lazy, swaying walk. He laughs, and so do you as your chest clashes together with his spine. There. Was that enough exercise? He turns and envelops you in an embrace. His snout nuzzles your shoulder, and your face is pushed into the crook of his neck. How well it all fits. Your hands on his sides and tracing his back while his arms squeeze you closer, as if two could become one. His hooves, legs and tail, for centuries untamable, capricious creatures, melt into graceful things as his wet snout snuffles into your shirt. The Minotaur lets out a grunt, liberating, redeeming, as though a lock had come undone in his throat. You're the best, the greatest master, and that is the truth. In the cramped hallway, his scent becomes clear, almost overpowering. He smells like the sea late in the afternoon, when the waves crash on the rocks and blow droplets of salt water. You breathe in deeper, and another layer makes itself apparent. The scent of fur and fabric warmed by sunlight. But strongest of all is the distinct smell of fresh sweat. Shameless, like men at work building a home by the sea as the sun pelts their backs. This is Asterion's scent. Salt, sunlight, hard work. But a hug cannot last forever. The both of you unclasp bit by bit, muscle by muscle, as if each movement had a perfect order. And all this time his eyes have been closed, but now he opens their grace for you. He looks up to the corridor behind you. We're almost there. If memory serves, we in truth passed our destination on the last corridor. Shall we? Sure. Side by side, arms touching, you walk. But what about the other masters? Socrates of Byzantium, Carlos of India, Intellectum the Wise. Did they really exist? No, I made them up. Even Intellectum? Especially him. Impossible. You're meant to be a well-behaved hotel co-owner. You'd never lie to your equal partner. Oh, my king, my emperor, emperor of mine. I keep secrets. I play tricks. Could you ever forgive me for it? I might have it in my heart to forgive you, yes, on one condition. Yes, sire, I shall stop calling you my lord. Immediately, monarch of mine. Oh, you wound me every time you break your promise. I'll perish, die, cease to be if you continue it. Sadly, this Minotaur is a trickster. You should know by now I'm not without my secrets. Is it because of the contracts? Yes, and more. Your arm, for instance. Remember that night when you and I went stargazing with Coulter and Luke? I wasn't expecting you to accept my proposal about the armband. I couldn't imagine a master doing so. The idea was preposterous. It must sound silly, but I was expecting you to reject it, and... well, never mind. That's what I mean when I say I play tricks, and I apologize for that. But before you say anything, I didn't bring you down here to make you feel sorry for me. Asterion stops halfway down the corridor. You can't see anything out of the ordinary. You look closer at the wall and notice its texture is ever so slightly different. There's something written upon it. By the Keeper's will may this wall stand forevermore, impenetrable, protecting what lies beyond. This contract can only be revoked temporarily, if, and only for as long as the Master or the Keeper touch it. Another secret for you. Contracts are physically indestructible unless revoked, which makes them fine material for building. Asterion touches the wall. It shudders and becomes as flexible as a curtain. For over 1,000 years I have never brought a master here, or anywhere else for that matter. This place, this floor and all its secrets, it's my special place. But what lies beyond is more so. I want to share it with you. Darkness settles around you. This time the Minotaur is the one to grab your hand. You count a dozen steps before the texture beneath your feet changes. Silkier than silk, gentler than sleep. Then a light ahead, and a million below. The sands above do not fall down on you, neither do you fall into the sky below. Asterion's hand tugs you towards the fire, as though none of this was out of the ordinary. Around the flame, or embers as it were, you notice a sandy texture. Asterion kneels and motions you to do the same. He places a hand on the sand before him and traces out a few lines with his fingers. Here, touch it with me, Leo. Your vision fails, but not your tactility. There are thick, clumsy lines drawing the sand, and they stay the same as you feel them out. In the middle of it is a hard, cold, metallic nub. Asteria notices when you find it. This is how the realm used to look when I first started building the hotel. I have a head Lord Hades statue, the entrance to the bedrock beneath the sands. And this fire, a good friend and unyielding companion. Back then, travellers would at times be pulled into this realm. Joseph the Merciful did not care for much for what I did, so nothing stopped me from taking them in as my guests. The Minotaur takes a handful of sand and lets it slip between his fingers. I had so very little. Not even houses to protect them from the elements. Tents of rough cloth had to do. Had to hunt our food as well, so expeditions to the valley were common even then, if only out of necessity. And then, one night, a traveller like all the others arrived. I provided him with food, water, and every meagre luxury I could. His garments were falling apart, so I offered to mend his clothes and boots. But I refrained from asking any questions. Lord Zeus would frown at such rough hospitality. He stayed the night, which was as uneventful as any other, and departed at the break of dawn. He left me a gift, however, a Roman coin. Said it was for me alone, and then he was off. From that day onward I carried it with me, and I could both speak and understand any language. Sometime later I learned to harness the contracts, which led me to create this shrine. The man must have been a god, the coin his gift, so I tended to it with all due respect, and wrote a contract upon this very sand. This gift would obey my will alone, so I drew up a contract pleading for it to embrace all the realm, its people and its manuscripts. The Minotaur writes with his fingertip in the sand. What, you cannot say, for it's no more than a dozen or so words. This should add your computer screens to the mix. By my will, you are amended. But that may not be enough. Leo, would you make a fresh fire with me? A fresh flame for the old god. Are you sure this will solve the translation issues? No, but it's worth a shot. And even if it fails, I enjoyed bringing you here. The Minotaur knew summoned meat and fruit, wine and olive oil, dittany and crocus, all of it fed to the dwindling fire until it shines proud once more. No foul odour wafts from it, neither do violent embers jump out with your offerings. Although the flame provides warmth, it's of such a gentle sort that reaching your hand in close neither burns nor singes. After the trip, the chase, the sacrifice, the two of you rest together. The contact of your shoulders touching is hotter than any flame. Asterion looks at you, eyes wet and reflecting the light. The hotel was my idea. Began as half a dozen tents surrounding a fire pit. Then I built some proper shelter to protect our guests from the elements. But to appease the masters I had to give them a place of prominence, even if that meant downplaying my role in it all. And then you came, saying I should be a co-owner alongside you, and going as far as changing the hotel's name to Minotaur Hotel. I didn't say it. Remained so much to me that you would do all this. You wonderful man, greatest, kindest of all masters. I'm grateful for your words. When you put it like that, it makes it sound like I did some great and heroic deed. I just did what I felt was right and decent. I don't know if that alone makes me deserving of being called the greatest of all masters. Sometimes doing only what's right is virtuous enough to be deemed great, Leo. At least it is for me. You just came in one day, deed in hand, and let me out. You trusted my word and helped me, even though I looked like a monster. I was afraid and kept you at arm's length. That did not faze you, did it? Again, I only did what I thought was right. What other reaction could a decent man have to seeing someone as injured as you were back then? By that measure, very few of the masters before you were decent men. In fact, I'd expect most people to run away as soon as they laid eyes on me in that state. And still you went further. Even when I asked for something as absurd as the laurel wreath, excess piled on excess, you gave it to me. I could never fathom the idea of a master seriously accepting it. Just what could you stand to gain? It's not really the point, though. First, considering how much power I have over you, it'd only be right to put some serious limits on what I can do. Second, it's not so much where I stood to gain as what I would lose, which is nothing at all, since there's no good reason to send you to the valley in the first place. You are not wrong, but few masters would ever allow themselves to think in such terms. That kind of fairness seldom occupies the minds of kings and lords. And still you went beyond. Even the labyrinth won't allow me to be your equal. Somehow you managed to do it. An unknown secret muse, it seems, inspired your acts. You made an art of friendship, my king. I'm glad I could do so much for you. At the same time, that reminds me that making you call me by my name is the one thing I've failed at so far. Every great statesman must make peace with a failure or two. Really? Is it so difficult to do just this one thing? Asterion sways left and right, chewing each word he intends to utter until it all comes together in his mind. It is not difficult, no. But, and this may surprise you, it is something I hold very dear. Really? To bring you comfort of some kind? Maybe comfort is not the right word. It is a bit more complicated. I was a prince long ago, but only found freedom when I served under Lord Hades. Those were some of my happiest days. When one is used to all forms of mistreatment and inequity, there is a great deal of comfort to be found in serving a fair, good, and just leader. Over the course of my sentence I have had hundreds of masters, to whom I bowed out of self-preservation, duty, and sometimes respect. But you are different. Of all the fine men I have witnessed over my centuries, there is none I would rather have as my king. I understand your annoyance, but I am overjoyed to call you my lord. There is no one in this realm I'd place above you, nothing which I could hold more dear. Every day I wake up to this life you have given me, without fail my affection for you only grows. Every day my limbs melt when I see you. So please, what else could I be if not your subject? Please understand my simple wish to call you my lord and master, nothing more or less. Not because I am your servant, nor because I am lesser than you, but because you are masterful in your kindness, and my esteem for you is so great no other word could ever suffice. If that is not explanation enough, forgive my hubris, but to call a man like you my master is nothing short of a victory for me. It's the closest I can do to gloating. The god sentences me here for an eternity of torment, and yet you, who should be my torturer, chose instead to be my partner in fulfilling the hotel's mission. To call you my master and be beside you is the sweetest of all victories. So please understand, what I feel for you, this is a kind of love. And what can you be? What else is there if not my lord? You can reject me, tell me to call you Leo as much as you want. But please, please, I just want you to understand me. I don't know what else you can be if not my master. And then the silence hangs in the air as Asterion waits your response. You lay a hand over Asterion's back and pull him closer, till your sides come together and his head rests on your shoulder. He lays his weight on you, and all the rigidity in his body, his back tense like a bow ready to loose an arrow, his blood-engorged limbs sweating from the chase, melts under your touch. Okay, you win this time. Have it your way, you stubborn bull. Call me whatever you please. He nuzzles his wet nose into the crook of your neck, not unlike a cat impressing their scent onto their precious human. Thank you, Leo. Oh, so now use my name, huh? Yes, my liege. God damn it. You gave me freedom, and for that I am grateful. But you should have anticipated that would lead to rebellion. That's not fair. I could never imagine a good and diligent co-owner like you turning against me. Is that so? The Minotaur, still laying his head on your shoulder, rubs his cheek on your shirt. In doing so, his horns sway back and forth with your neck in between. Where there is a will, there is a way. What do you mean? His weight becomes more oppressive. From the corner of your eye, you see his smile turning crooked. Might makes right. Force me. He leans all his weight on you, or he can trap you beneath his bulk. You duck and escape his grasp. The Minotaur lets himself settle on the sand, a smile warmer than molten gold painted on his face, before rolling to look at you. The wind blows. A burst of embers dance about in the nude breeze, catching your attention. The air around you is filled with the smell of fire, smoke, and burning wood. When you look back, Asterion is on all fours and crawling towards you. His neck leans sideways, and his shadow stretches off the side, trotting over the dune like a dog freed from its leash. Come on, show me your strength. If that's what you want, then sure, let's do it. Good. If you grow too soft, I'll only continue to challenge you. You leap up, and so does the Minotaur, just as the wind roars. Sand, ash, and embers spray out as the two of you square off. The both of you push against each other, measuring your strength to create and maintain a fine-tuned stalemate. Limbs tense, backs drawn tight. You lean your head forward, and he follows along so that your foreheads touch. You feel the rumble of his chest as he draws each breath. His hands, although calloused, hold yours so softly it's almost a caress. But the bull is not satisfied. This is a wrestling match, a contest of strength, not a dance between two. He snorts and shakes his head, grinding that mark which crowns his brow against your hairline. Asterion glances off to the side. You follow the direction of his eyes to your shadows. They mingle together, writhing on the sand like some massive beast. Scent engulfs you with every drawn breath of your own. The sea, sunlight, and a hard-working man. Another puff against your face draws your attention back to your opponent. Come, master. Impose your will upon me. You're serious about this, aren't you? Once more he leans his full weight forward. With nowhere to dodge or duck, you feel every ounce of it bearing down on you. You're forced back a good metre, legs scrabbling for purchase in the sand as the Minotaur pushes you. It's as though you weighed nothing. I am. His voice and expression are firm as stone. You look at the Minotaur, your partner, the step-wide breadth of his back and shoulders, the musculature under every soft and supple inch of his flesh and fur, and for the first time see the proud warrior he once was. His gentle eyes meet yours, and you know that strength will never be truly turned against you. But still, something, an ancient and long-forgotten instinct, stirs deep within your breast. You must fight. What will you do, good master? You lean to the right. Perhaps putting pressure on the Minotaur's weak side will give you an advantage to exploit. But Asterion has years, centuries of experience. With well-practiced movements, he shifts and widens his stance to keep his grip on you. You have to be more cunning than that if you wish to best him. The insolent hybrid gives you a wide grin. Is that really all you've got, master? You grunt in both answer and exertion, striving with all your might against his efforts to overpower you. It's like trying to push a boulder up a steep hill. Burning heat surges through every fibre and sinew of your arms, and your back begins to shake and shudder. But even so, you look up to Asterion and stretch your lips into a toothy, snarling grin of your own. You know, getting closer to you like this, pushing and pulling and grunting and groaning together. You pressing closer to him, the humidity of your breath puffs on his flicking ear. It's almost like dancing, don't you think? His eyes widen to hear a knowing echo of his earlier thoughts. He falters. The time has come to strike. God's sake, you're so fucking locking up. You let go of your grip and duck down low. Asterion reels forward with a bellow of surprise. He loses your pushback against his force. With a bellow of your own, you surge forward to drive your shoulder into his gut, below his centre of balance. Oh! He staggers and stumbles, flails and then falls, and he takes you with him. Whoa! Your momentum carries you forward to land atop the groaning Minotaur. Seizing the moment of opportunity, you move to pin his shoulders with your palms. Every heaving breath fills your lungs with his rich scent. You smile. I win. You breathe in again, imprinting that smell, enjoying every second while it lasts. And the Minotaur does the same. He buries his nose in your shirt, and a wealth of scents assault him. The Mediterranean salt water, saffron-giving crocus, the decaying petals of deflowered poppies. The smell of bitter, burnt oil that sticks to one's mouth, the coppery taste leaking from beneath his tongue. And, at last, something so familiar and yet so elusive. The smell of man, of a unique and special person whose presence soothes and heals. Asterion laughs, and his throat constricts to choke him halfway through. A ring of fire burns around his neck. An unfamiliar pressure wells inside his chest, expanding outward like a star about to burst, till it becomes unbearable. He opens his mouth to cry out. That's when he feels a hand brushing against the burning collar which threatens to strangle him. A gentle, cold touch, bringing with it liberation like no other. With that, the ring of fire breaks for good. The overwhelming pressure within him can finally burst out. The breeze becomes a maelstrom, sand and smoke and ash whirling around you and the Minotaur. You squeeze your eyes shut against the assault and flinch at the deafening roar of obsidian shattering and roiling over itself. Meanwhile, Asterion bucks and writhes underneath you. His back curls, his tail thrashes, and even his legs tense and seize. His mouth so close to yours, sharing the same air, locked in this raging whirlwind until all threads come undone. The Minotaur does not let go of you. His hands clutch your shirt, but his arms shudder, barely able to keep you locked in his grip. His whole heaving front is covered in sweat. What the hell was that? The Minotaur can only pant while his mind struggles to string words and meaning together. I don't know. You keep a hand on Asterion's neck to check his pulse. The touch alone makes the Minotaur arch his back. Sounds like you're having a seizure. Are you okay? Does anything hurt? No, far from it. I feel good. Amazing, even. He tightens his embrace around you, pulls you down to lay your head on his shoulder. Can we stay like this? Just for a little while? Can't see why not. Actually, maybe it's best if we do. I'm worried you might pass out if you try to get up now. The Minotaur nods and loosens his grip around you, providing the opportunity to readjust into a better position. With some clumsy effort in moving around, you manage to get Asterion to lay his head on your chest. You drape an arm over his to keep him propped up. It doesn't last long until he readjusts again into an almost spooning position. quite awkward with how close his horns are to your neck. You let time pass. When he regains his composure, you caress and tidy his hair, then look up to the sky. Such occasions may swell one's chest with poetry, and a muse, it seems, takes hold of you, if only for a moment. Of all stars, here on the ground and in the sky, the most beautiful is you. The Minotaur hears, but his only response is nuzzling against you. 5 minutes pass before he speaks. I've never felt this way towards a master. He chews on his own words, opens his mouth, and nothing comes out except a dry cough. This is... Another coughing fit takes him. He draws a sluggish breath, puts a hand over his chest and settles down. But he says nothing more. Oh, there was something on your forehead just now, but it's gone. Excuse me? There's like a little star drawn on it. A star? Yes, like a birthmark. But no answer comes. Asterion's breathing tells you he's fallen deep into restful sleep. Your arm brushes against the Minotaur's tail as you lay it around the small of his back. You notice the slightest jerk, no more abrupt than if he'd been startled within his dream. His tail and ears, however, thrash back and forth. He grumbles, giggles sleepily, all of a sudden his ears grow still. His tail continues to swing in a lazy pendulum, till it too ceases all movement. More uncountable minutes pass as you and Asterion rest together. At last the Minotaur stirs, snuffles and murmurs out half-sleeping nonsense, opens his hazy eyes, looks up to you with a small smile curling his lips. Hello, Master. Hello, he who still won't use my name. The Minotaur lets out a long, beleaguered sigh, but his smile remains light and playful while he sits up. Very well, Leo. I suppose you did win our contest. That's right, and don't you forget it. And now he laughs, full-throated and hearty. Know only that I shall always consider you my king and lord and master, if only in my mind. In fact... He perks up as though struck with a sudden bolt of inspiration. In my youth, when I was still a prince, I used to weave crowns. If your wish should be equal in name is so great, then my prince you will be, and I will crown you as such. He looked down to his large, strong, clumsy, gentle hands. You used to weave crowns, huh? Wish I could have been there to see it. Bet little Asterion looked adorable with the flower crown perch between his horns. I don't exactly see much of anything you can weave around here. Didn't you tell me you weren't all that good with fine movements nowadays? Well, I would admit it would likely be much more difficult now than when I was young. Indeed, we have no materials on hand. Though rest assured, were we up in the garden, I do my best to weave you a crown of asphodels fit for Lord Hades himself. One of his eyes slips closed in a wink. Luckily, with a mere hum of a song, the hotel shall provide. And with a mere hum of a song, so it comes to be. When the world drifts back into focus, Asterion is holding something in his hand, a laurel wreath crown made out of... paper? Yes, the very same used in the contracts. Physically indestructible, shall hold its shape for all time unless revoked, which I sincerely doubt will ever come to pass. This is my contract with you, Leo. A crown made out of promises, signed and made binding by our hands. Built out of paper, but made to last longer than any kingly crown of gold and diamonds. Never in all of mankind's history has there been a crown like this, nor a lord like you. So here, my fellow prince, please accept my gift. But make no mistake, I will call you whatever my heart desires. As he lays the crown atop your head, you look right up into his starry eyes. I suppose I can live with that. After a long day spent exploring underground, you and Asterion rise back up to the hotel proper to check in on everyone. Yo, Asterion, I've been looking all over the both of you. Where the hell have you two been? Leo and I were exploring downstairs. We had an errand to run, and I wanted to show him some of the hotel's secrets. Secrets, huh? Sure, I getcha. You don't gotta make shit up if you want an excuse some alone time, though. So you all have fun exploring downstairs, then? Don't start, Luke. We were on an important hotel-related mission. Our future as an establishment was hanging in the balance. Yes, realizing this goal was crucial for the prosperity of this place. Necessary beyond comparison. Absolutely indispensable. Okay, just spit it out already. We're trying to fix the hotel's translation to work on computers. I can finally read the books and recipes I've been saving. Yes, Luke. Asterion needs his poetry. It's imperative this situation be resolved. No expense is spared. Essential. Mandatory prerequisite for our future. Fundamental for our well-being. God damn it, you're doing it again. Okay, we'll stop this time. That task was of the essence. Motherfucker, I swear I'll... Lucas, do not let yourself get distracted now. We are discussing a matter of great importance. Now speak and tell me no lie. Did you notice any changes to the translation while we were gone? Nah, didn't notice nothing funny except for... Luke's shriek of laughter is so loud you and Asterion have to cover your ears. Near the guests hear it from halfway across the hotel. Jeez, what's gotten to you? Is everything alright? Oh yes sir, boss sir. If I was any better, I think this was a setup. Don't you worry your pretty heads. Translation's working alright now. So it all with my own two eyes, in fact. Let me tell you how it went. So, Japanese kanji is all just pictures? Little funny pictograms? Luke, don't start or I swear I'll gut you like a fish. Look, all I'm saying is they're just teeny tiny drawings. I bet I can read it myself just fine. Show me that phone of yours, I'll prove it. No, you only say something insensitive to get to me. Well, yeah, I'm also going to read it. It's just tiny drawings. If you're so I'm going to fuck it up, we can make a bet. Let's say, if I win, you'll make me your finest American meal. Burger, fries, pickle pops, the whole shebang. How about if you win, I'll wash your laundry for a week? Absolutely not. You probably plan on doing something indecent with my clothing. Okay, then how about, if you win, I'll behave like a good and proper boy for a whole week. No shenanigans, no innuendos. I'll be on my best behaviour. Very well, that's something I can get behind. Oh, get your mind out of the gutter. Just go on and lose already so we can get this over with. Let's see here, show me your phone. Okay, that one's a house. It's even got a little roof on top of it. Did I get it right? Yes, but that one's easy. Told ya. And this one over here is basically the dancing chick emoji. That one's a soldier marching. This one's tax evasion. That last one. Ritual impurity? Defilement? Oh man, this is easy. Can read all of it. And Japanese is such an amazing language. How'd you all even do all this? Hats off the Emperor. You're cheating. There's no way. Is that a poem? Let me see. Love is a torment whenever we hide it. Why not lay it bare like the moon that appears from behind the mountain ledge? That's real nice. Getting more like that. This is trickery. You... How? I'm just looking at the pictograms and saying as I see it, Blue Boy. If I know those easy, I'd have studied Japanese decades ago. So I got it, right? Yes, somehow. Well then, you know what that means. Make me a burger pitch. So now I get how it happened. Learning's nice and all, but dang, guess I ain't as smart as I thought I was. You can still learn Japanese if you want, you know. Just put in the time and effort for it. Nah, I'm a lazy piece of shit. I have the smarts to do it for long enough. Besides, before I do any of that, I've got to talk with Colt and tell him about the translation thingy. We're in Sweden and stolen honey. I ain't a cheater. It's only fair I tell him what actually happened. Yeah, go and do that. Meanwhile, Asteria and I have to check on today's developments. See you later, fellas. Well, let's see what we can complete here. The lounge seems to be working pretty well. So let's add a bar to the swimming pool. I think that will go down well with the guests. Later in the day, your phone sings the most angelic of arias as it delivers its world-changing message. It is done. Your crown jewel, the proof of both your might as a leader and the favour of the gods, the most complex architectural marvel this realm has ever seen, the poolside bar. This is it. With this feat of engineering, the hotel is complete. Now you're ready for whatever inspectors may come to evaluate your fine establishment's installations. But first, you must embark upon the most arduous and grievous task of them all, testing it to the utmost rigour. You cannot do it alone. A commander needs an army, after all. And much like last time, every member of your staff is eager to join in, to ensure that the facilities are all working as intended, of course. After finishing up some paperwork in the office, you head at last to the pool area. There you find a certain bovine companion of yours taking advantage of the temporary closure. Back and forth Asterion swims, free from the burden of holding himself back on account of any others in the water. Musculature under his fur bunches and flexes, working to drive him forward with every reach of his arms or kick of his legs. His breath gushes out of his nose every time it breaks the surface, sending out a spray of droplets before him. You find a sun lounger nearby and sit down to watch him. Last, the Minotaur notices you and swims over to hang on the pool's edge as he speaks. Oh, Leo, forgive me, I couldn't resist going for a brief swim. His ears flicks, he labours to catch his heaving breath. You give him a smile. There's nothing to forgive. In fact, I've thought to bring my swimsuit and might join you for a little while. Having fun? Oh yes, I am. I'm glad. Though it sounds like you'd use some refreshment after that swim. You want to come dry off and head over the bar? See how Coda's got everything set up? He nods, takes a more leisurely swim over the steps out of the pool. You follow him along the edge, meet him as he rises out of the water, and stand by as he starts toweling off. Oh, this fur of mine. I apologise, this might take a while again. Maybe a good idea to find a solution for that, especially if we start getting more mythical guests with lots of fur. But for now, maybe a breezy cotton shirt could help. Do you think so? Couldn't hurt. Or be more appropriate for sipping drinks by the poolside. The Minotaur shifts from hoof to hoof, still scrubbing away at himself with his towel. Finally, defeated, he turns to hang it over the back of the lounger and gives you a nod. If you say so, then I'll trust your judgment on this matter. You close your eyes and hum the tune, already picturing the garment's pattern. The colour, however, remains in question. I'm going to go with red for this one. Last, you decide upon a red Hawaiian shirt. You always liked that colour, and the vibrant hue will go well with the pool's lively atmosphere. It materialises in your hand, perfectly sized for Asterion and ready for the Minotaur to wear. Here, try this on. Asterion dons the shirt, allowing it to hang open over his broad chest. He rubs the material between a thumb and forefinger and shifts his shoulders to feel how it brushes over his damp fur. You like it? Yes, it is very comfortable. Well, this pattern seems quite joyful, even carefree. I've always liked flowers, though I must admit I'm unfamiliar with this kind. They're a tropical species. You see them at the beach all the time. His large finger traces over one of the petals, and a small smile blooms on his face. Oh, I see. Quite beautiful. I'm still not sure putting something on over my fur will truly accelerate my drying. I do very much like it. Well, thank you, Leo. Now, about those drinks. On the way over, you and Asterion pass by the kobolds. The trio swaddle in their towels and rest in the warm sunlight, having apparently tuckered themselves out playing in the water. All three of them enjoying the bright and colourful smoothie each, slurping up the fruity treat through looping, swooping, crazy straws. To your approach, they wave to you with chirps and murmurs of lazy contentment. To greet in the tiny group with nods and waves of your own, you continue on to the pool bar proper. You step into the shade and the canopy, find Kota bustling about behind the counter. Kenvish is over at the far end of the bar, sipping from a short glass of what looks like milk. Upon closer inspection, however, you notice it fizzing ever so slightly. Luke sits on the nearby umbrella-shaded patio tables, once more dressed only in his speedo and the smile on his face. He's drinking from an aluminium beer can, a light, naturally. At his feet lies Wolf, a large bowl of ice-cold water inches away from the canine's muzzle. Everyone present murmurs a greeting in your direction as you and Asterion take your seats at the bar. Leo, Asterion, there you two are. Yeah, I had to finish up some paperwork in the office before coming out, and Asterion needed to dry off a bit after his swim. But here we are, and we both use a good bit of refreshment. Well, you've come to the right place. I hope you don't mind, but I took the liberty of making the drink menu as comprehensive as possible. Smoothies included? Of course, I thought it best to offer a few non-alcoholic options for those who don't or cannot partake. Good thinking. So, what will you have, Leo? Let's have Kota make something for us. Go for a daiquiri. Well, it is pretty hot out here. How about a strawberry daiquiri? They're coming right up. Kota pours rum, lime juice and sugar into a blender, then chops up a few strawberries from the fruit bowl on the counter to add to the mix. He blends it all up with a good amount of ice and finally serves the result to you in a hurricane glass. Here you go, nice and fresh. And what about you, Asterion? Oh, I think it'd be nice to try what Leo is having. Kota is quick to make Asterion's drink, serving it up in no time flat. Kota, I should probably say this more often. I'm glad you ended up being our first staff member. You're a perfect fit for running a bar. Well, thank you, Leo. I certainly do try. As I said before, once we get some staff together to run things out here, I wouldn't at all mind lending a hand from time to time. Okay, you convinced me. I'll work it into your schedule, all right? Well, thank you. As you take another sip of your drink, Luke sidles up to lean on the counter next to you. Hey, boys, you're having fun over here without me? The griffin's shoulder brushes against yours. Asterion's eyes lock onto the point of contact. I wouldn't dream of it. Good. And Bluey, how about you grab me another beer and we really get the fun started? Luke, it's the middle of the day. Go on, boss man, lighten up. Says you all want to talk. At least having light beer instead of... His eyes wander down to your drink. Then lets out a quiet snort. Does that girly shit even taste good? It does, yes. Much better than light beer, that's for damn sure. Wow, you'll rip my heart right out of my chest, why don't you? Well then, don't knock my girly shit until you've tried it. The griffin opens his beak to retort, and then clacks it shut. You have tried it, right? Well, no. What better time then? Who knows, you might just like it. I doubt that. But sure, I'll try anything once. One strawberry daiquiri. Yeah, one of those, please, Bluey. Coming right up. Frodo turns away to prepare Luke's requested drink. Almost as soon as he sets it down, the Griffin grabs it up. All right, here goes nothing. He takes a long, slow, considering sip. Huh. You know what? This is pretty damn good. See? I told you. Yeah, I guess you did. Sorry for doubting you, boss man. Catch y'all later. He saunters off back to his table, straw firmly in his beak all the while. He turns to the smiling dragon behind the bar. You made his virgin, right? I did, yes. You nod, taking another sip. A good man. When all is said and done, the bar is declared a rousing success by every member of your staff. Having had your fill of fun for the day, or have you spend the remainder of the afternoon finishing up your work? Let's check it on the exploration team. Oh, 14 raw materials. Nice. Huh. Small moment of Astarion's past. That night, gentle sleep welcomed both the Minotaur and you, each in your own bed. There we go. Before we head back into the hinterlands, I think we'll leave it there. As I said, definitely allergies been an issue today, so I'm going to wrap this up fairly quickly. I actually don't remember what's on the schedule for next weekend, but we do have some new things coming up. Hopefully we'll get to one of those fairly soon. And those you following the smoke room, we do have an update for William to do sometime this month. We'll see when that happens. As always, thanks to all my donors on Ko-fi and Patreon, and my top patrons, Andy Peng, Samuto, Omar, Big Booty Judy, Nova Starbun, Whelpers Need Coffee, Burnt Toast, Kartek, Cobus Visser, Lexi Bucciarati, Lark Huskerton, Bastian, Tiger Cub, Edek Corval, Anubis Silverwind, Dissonance, Briz, Spiderling, Kopi, Cindy Dragowolf, Marcus, Evan King, Exac, Aaron Fox, and Mohammed Al-Zamel. So special thanks to all of them. And wherever you're watching this, I hope it's somewhat cooler than it is up here. It's way too hot. 32 degrees in the Yukon is not very nice at all. This is minus 32, that's fine. So hopefully when the next time I do this, we'll have a much nicer day to do it on. But until then, which will be next weekend, thanks for watching and bye for now.